Everybody looks at drug court like, oh, it's a bad thing. You go to drug court, you're going to jail. Nobody completes drug court. That's a facade. Just my opinion, you don't complete drug court because you don't want to complete it. You don't want to stop doing what you're doing. You don't want to surrender. You don't want to give up the things that you've been doing. And I found out at the age that I am, I didn't want to die in the streets like that. And I had to hold on to something. And God put these things in my life, and it worked.
So our recovery court is a court that bucks kind of the natural trend of what we see in criminal justice of a crime being committed, arrest, prosecution, and punishment. What the recovery courts do is acknowledge that a lot of people that have recurring interaction with the criminal justice system may have a substance use disorder or a mental health issue at play that is kind of causing that interaction. It takes a team of resources and actually supports that person and helps them get stable in the community. Other than just, let's go ahead and lock somebody up and give them time and then put them back out in the community and not really address the underlying issue. So those recovery courts take into consideration, if we can get this person stable, we get them the resources and support they need, it's likely going to prevent them from coming back in contact with the criminal justice system. It's very important because it is very smart on crime. It's actually helping our recidivism rate, it's making us safer, and it's also changing the way that people view the criminal justice system overall.
The recovery court does quite a bit to help people with the future that they envision for themselves. A lot of times when people join the program, they may not even have a vision for what they want their future to look like. They just know they don't want to be where they are right now. And it's our job to sort of walk hand in hand with them along the way. And watching their journey and transformation can be really impactful because you see people learn to trust themselves again, learn to trust other people again, manage certain milestones like getting their driver's license back or obtaining housing, building relationships with their children and their parents. So it's definitely helpful in the way that we have the tools and resources, and it's up to the person to pick them up and use them. So it's really special to get to see that process.
I have seen a huge change in clients that go through recovery court. You can tell when people come in and they're not their best selves. You can see the way that they look, and by the time they get to the end of the program, they're completely different people. You can see the changes and the effects that the program has on them. You can hear their stories. You know, they're better off with their friends and family. They've reconnected with them. They get jobs. They feel more stable in the community. They feel like they really have the support and resources to continue to be a productive member of society and not find themselves in the criminal justice system.
It's very different from regular probation. It is a lot more intensive. We do have a lot more one-on-one time with our probationers, which I feel is pretty effective. Some people really need that structure and the contact requirements that come with being in recovery court. You get to know people a lot more personally too, which is great. We get to be able to assess kind of what their individual needs may be in that regard, which makes us more effective in being able to help people.
The recovery court program is divided into 5 phases. The minimum amount of time that somebody is involved in the program would be 14 months. The first phase is a minimum of 60 days, and the other 4 phases are a minimum of 90 days. So in total, 14 months is needed. So it is quite intense in terms of time commitment and expectations. But by the end of it, people will hopefully be able to kind of manage their own lives in a lot better way than they were at the beginning. So recovery court could take longer than 14 months, and we're willing to stick with people as long as they're willing to do the work.
You know, employers will usually in the employment process, they're going to do a background check. The goal is to have somebody that's stable, that's trustworthy, that you know they're going to show up for work, and when they're there, they're going to do the job the right way. Someone that's a participant in our drug court docket, you have, in essence, free wraparound protection and reassurance that that person is not only going to be tested frequently, they're going to be meeting with the judge very frequently in our drug court team, being held accountable. They're going to have reminders of where they need to be and how they need to show up appropriately, and again, being incentivized for doing those things. So as an employer, I think it's a very good risk, if you want to consider it a risk at all, to look into and consider hiring drug court participants.
Employers should look to employ these people because they have completed the task that was set before them. It may have taken longer than expected, but they did the things that were required, completing the task that's required of you. And then not just doing that, but going above and beyond the task. I mean, We all have challenges. These people are able to meet those challenges and come through them. And that's what helps to make a good employee.
Addiction is something that someone who doesn't suffer from it rarely understands. And drug court is an incredible alternative to incarceration for someone who is struggling with addiction. It is the opportunity that many of us need to be able to get back on track. And because of this opportunity, my life and the life of my family and everybody that I come in contact with is so much better.